Jack, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well because I just heard the new Falls single.
Yeah, I mean it's super exciting. It's we're really excited for it to be out in the world and like quite quickly as well. Like it's not so long since we finished recording it, so it's so exciting for us to be able to release it so soon. It feels great.
So, what's the time path been like then? If it's like you said, not too long since you recorded it, is this something that happened over the last few months, or?
Yeah, I mean we kind of in in the UK, we were locked down, from the first half of last year, and I think Yanis and Jimmy started coming up with ideas at home during that time, and actually, I think that it was quite like this song was quite driven by that because they're both sitting at home just thinking like I want to go out, I want to be able to go to gigs, I want to play live music, I want to go to a club because all of that got taken away. So I feel like Wake Me Up is kind of like it's kind of the opposite of where we were that time last year. And this thing came together, and it just feels like a really good kind of way to come back because our last records were quite expansive and experimental, and this one feels more like a return to kind of like where we came from. Like there's some sort of tighter, drier, kind of almost antidotes like guitars in there, and it's a lot more propulsive and like rhythm based. So yeah, it feels a little bit like a return to our party, like our house party roots from when we were 21 years old.
You've had the opportunity to play some live shows over the last couple of weeks and months again. What was that like for you guys to finally be back up on stage where you, well, let's face it, belong?
Yeah, thank you. It was actually I wasn't sure how I was going to feel because it's such a big moment. I mean, in the last 15 years, we've not been. I don't think we've ever been between live shows for such a long time. And obviously, with what happened with the pandemic, it felt like even these shows in the summer felt like they might not happen. And to be honest, until I was on stage, I was kind of like, are they just going to pull them at the very last minute? So there was like an underlying anxiety about all of the shows. But when we were up on stage, it was like wow. It was almost as if my brain had just deleted the previous 18 months, and I was
Wow.
just like, nothing's changed. It's like it's still exactly the same in the best possible way. Like, I think everyone, because there was obviously special precautions to make sure that people could be safe. But I think because everyone was, so careful with the precautions, that they were like, right, I can actually be at a gig and I can experience it in the real way, rather than being sat 2 meters apart or all of these different techniques to sort of cope with the pandemic. And it felt amazing. You could really feel how much everyone wanted it to happen. And I think for a lot of people, it was everyone's first gig back because it was a new we started playing those gigs just when gigs started up again, and it was yeah it was pretty amazing.
Are you thinking about, making plans for the near future to be on the road again, or is it something that's still up in the air because of all, you never know where this pandemic is going to roll out to?
Yeah, I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, like get me back out as quick as possible. Like I've had enough time at home. I've baked enough banana bread. I'm ready to.
Is
I'm
that your
ready.
specialty? Yeah.
To be honest, actually, that's a lie. I'm not a huge banana bread fan, but I did get into quite a lot of. I went down a lot of food rabbit holes. I was sort of making my own sweets and kind of yeah, like all kinds of weird stuff. I bought a sous vide machine, so yeah, that's probably not. This is probably not the right interview to get into that because I'll talk for an hour. But yeah, next year definitely. I think we plan to come back out and tour as much as possible. I mean, like you say, it's hard to know how the pandemic's going to get managed. In the UK, I'm a bit of a pessimist, and I'm concerned that there will be another lockdown at some point. But hopefully, with the vaccination rates and stuff, we'll be able to do kind of a more normal year next year. And you know, we'd love to get back to the Netherlands. We'd love to get back all over the place. You know, I haven't left the UK for 18 months now. And that's probably the longest I haven't been away from this country for, well, since I was probably 12 years old. So I'm not a huge fan.
We're looking forward to see you guys on stage, and you now made me very curious about all your sweets that you've. So you know, when the moment's finally here that we'll meet, be it at a concert hall or an interview, whatever, bring some of the sweetness, man.
Yeah, I'll try and remember. I'll try and bring some fudge along.
2022 sounds like a great year to tour, do an album, and taste your fudge.
Perfect. You couldn't have put it any better than that,
I don't think. Jack, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Kink. Thank you for the great new track, Wake Me Up. We're gonna play it right now. And well, like I said, here's to seeing you real soon again in real life. Thank you so much, man.
Okay. Thanks so much for having me.